Okay, so we're gonna review GooseMEggs, who is playing Lucio for most of this game, and then Moira. This is what they said. I played Overwatch on and off for a few years now, always support. I thought it was pretty good, but I played competitive and got put in Bronze 3, which made me remember I've kind of always been in the Bronze Silver area. I've always made Mercy, as I thought she was the best, but from this sub, I've learned mostly only on low-level players think that. I still think I'm good with her and switch between the beams pretty often, but I find myself losing a lot. I can never tell when it's my fault versus my team's. Moira's a new favorite of mine, but I feel like I don't heal enough or stay alive enough. I'm new to Lucio. I'm always stuck to Mercy and Moira because I honestly suck at aiming, but I find myself winning more often with Lucio. I'm just really not sure when to use speed boost versus healing. I think I need a new mindset with support. I'm scared that being a heal bot is a bad thing, when I kind of thought that was the point of support when I started. And then they posted 3 replays, 2 are wins. This one's a loss. I decided to review the loss because I think usually losses are more helpful. Obviously, if you won the games, sometimes you didn't really need to do a lot, or it's not your mistakes aren't as obvious. But in losses, usually your mistakes are super obvious. So in the interest of time, we'll just review the loss. So let's go through a few of those points. Number one, is Mercy good? Bad? Mercy is fine. I think all the supports are fine. I think all the supports are totally playable. I think you can play them at all levels without any issue. People might say, oh, like the meta is Kiriko and Lucio or whatever. Like, you don't need to worry about that. Like, honestly, unless you're in the top 0.1% of the player base, like, those things don't matter to you at all. Play whatever hero you find is fun. You can climb with them, right? Or improve at them. Whatever your goal is, no matter what, just play whatever you find is fun. Don't worry about what other people say about this hero being good or bad. I think the only thing to think about is on maps and team composition matters, right? For example, if your team is playing Dive, right, and you're playing Moira, not a great choice because you can't typically keep up with them and heal them, right? I think that's something to think about. On a map like Gibraltar, it's a very vertical map where heroes like Mercy really excel, but heroes like Brigitte, not so good. So those are things I would think about, not so much like overall, like this hero is bad or this hero is good or whatever. Play whatever you think is fun. It's not an issue, especially, in bronze. Um, Okay, so, GooseMEggs, GooseMEggs, not really actually sure how to pronounce that. Goose. One of the things that Goose says is they suck at aiming, so they play heroes that don't require as much aim. Totally understand. I think that's a reasonable choice. I mean, aiming is complicated. It's hard. It's a lot of muscle memory. I personally have played games for like 20 years to only have decent aim. It's definitely hard. Like picking up a shooter, especially if it's your first shooter, it's going to be really difficult, and it's going to limit your ability to be effective in certain heroes. Like Ana would probably be one of the big ones right off the bat. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of tips you can give about aiming. There's lots of things on there. You can look it up. I'm not going to try to explain all that right now. So you ask for Lucio, when should I speed boost versus healing? We can cover that a lot here. And we can also talk about healing or versus supporting equal healing. So believe it or not, and like a lot of people probably told you this accurately, supporting is not healing. Supporting is whatever helps your team do the things required to win. And sometimes that is healing, and sometimes that is doing damage, and sometimes that's smart ability usage, and sometimes that's killing the enemies, right? If you kill enemies, you prevent them from dealing damage, which is basically healing. So whatever works. And I know that's really flexible and kind of a cop-out, but that's honestly the way it is, right? It's really Overwatch is a very complicated game. It's not like one thing you do all the time. There's a lot of like read the situation and figure out what is the best move. So we'll do our best to see what we can do right here. So for starters, you're playing as Lucio. Let's look at your comp. All right, so you have your tank is a D.Va, you have an Echo, you have a Soldier, and you have a Moira. Already, this is kind of a wonky comp. There's not a lot of synergies here. So for example, your Echo, right? How is anyone going to heal your Echo? Because she's typically going to be in the air, 90% of the time. She's going to expect healing. Your Moira can't heal her because your Moira has no ability to fly up to her. Like Mercy could heal her, Ana could heal her, Brigitte could heal her, Kiriko could heal her, but like the Moira can't really heal her. And like if you were playing, for example, Baptiste can't really heal her unless he lands an air shot, which is not reasonable to expect all the time. You can sort of heal her, but you're not like a high healing hero to begin with. So, it's like tough in that situation for her to pick an Echo here. Now, I'm not asking you to change anybody else's pick. I don't think everybody should ever do that. Just let people play whatever they want, right? It's their game. Let them play for fun. But you can, if you want to try to win, you should probably pick around that. Like, so Mercy, for example, would be a better choice here, probably than Lucio for that reason. But that's totally fine. Lucio's still viable. Just noting that. Soldier's okay. The thing is, Soldier's already kind of self-sufficient, right? He's very fast on his own, so speed boost doesn't really help him necessarily as much as somebody who's stuck with default move speed, right? And he also has a heal station, so he can heal by himself, and he typically plays off on an angle on his own, right? In fact, playing with him can sometimes be a liability because you can attract attention to him when he's trying to make a flank. So also not someone you're going to want to stick around with too much. Moira. Well, Moira's interesting because Moira is a hero, a support that doesn't really need peeling, right? She can out, kind of out sustain a lot of DPS pressure. If someone's trying to fight her, she can just, do the sucking, and that will steal their health, right? To her, which also damages them, which kind of freaks them out. She has Orb, which will heal her or damage the other enemy really, really fast. She can also fade out of most threats. She's a very self-sufficient support. So typically, one of the things that you can play Lucio's for is to be defensive Lucio, right? So classically, you play Lucio someone like Anna, where Anna is quite vulnerable to diving. Like, yes, she has Sleep Dart, yes, she has Grenade, but if she doesn't hit the sleep, which is a high skill ceiling skill shot, if she doesn't hit the sleep, she's usually going to die. So as Lucio, you can run in there, you can boot people away from your Anna, which can save your Anna. But you don't need to do that from Moira because she's self-sufficient. So there's not really a reason for you to play with the Moira either. Also, speeding your Moira to the fight doesn't help very much either. So also, like, another hero that you're just kind of like, it's not that you're bad with them, but you're not good with them. So it's kind of like null, right? Like, just nothing, there's no real interaction between you that is helpful in any way, right? So, for example, what's a hero that is very helpful? Reinhardt is like canonically classic combination with Lucio. There are many high-level players who refuse to play Reinhardt unless they have a Lucio support, because Rein's whole goal is, I want to get into the enemy's face as soon as possible and start hitting them. Lucio helps me do that because he can speed me in, and Rein running at you is very, very scary, right? Compare that to someone like Sigma as a tank. Well, Sigma doesn't really want to get closer, right? He wants to shoot you from far away with his orbs, do a ton of damage. He doesn't really need speed to get to them. He might need speed to get away from them, but he doesn't typically need speed to get to them, so not as much value there. Now, what is your actual tank? Your tank is D.Va, who is one of the most mobile tanks in the game. She doesn't really need speed, right? She already has boosters, which are on her 4-second cooldown, which allow her to go basically anywhere that she wants. She also needs a lot of healing. She's not like the top tier for healing required as a tank, right? Or like Rein, Winston, Orisa, even are like the top tier tanks that really need a lot of healing. But she needs like a good amount of healing, and Lucio doesn't give a lot of healing. So if you look at your whole team lineup from the very beginning, you're not helping them really do their jobs, if that makes sense. And you're also not necessarily helping to protect them from the enemies. You're not preventing the enemy from doing what they want to do either. I will say this map is not unreasonable for Lucio because it's quite vertical. Lucio's good with good movement. You can wall climb very, very quickly and get anywhere you want. You can control high ground. You can control off angles. You can support people when they're being dove or even support dives if you have the move and skill to do so. But for starters, I would say this is not a great comp to be playing Lucio with. Does it make him playable? Absolutely not. Just noting that. All right, so let's play this out. All right, so you start. So what's your goal here, right? Well, again, your goal typically, right, is to bring, especially when you're on attack, is to bring your team, right, specifically certain teammates, to the enemy, right? That's what the primary reason Lucio's played is not for healing, it's for speed. That is like the number one thing that Lucio's played for. Because you want to heal all the other supports, literally every single other support heals better than you do. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to be a really good healer as Lucio, that's a mistake, because Lucio doesn't actually heal that much. He heals like 24 health a second or something like that. Not even, maybe like 18 health a second to teammates without using the amp, right? And amp is not something that has a relatively long cooldown. So in general, your goal should be, hey, how do I speed people into the enemy? This is tough because you don't really have a lineup that speeding them into the enemy is helpful. So I think you have to play very opportunistically here, right? My perspective would be, if I'm forced to play Lucio in the situation, I'm going to move the cart and see what develops and then be ready to react. If my teammates are getting dove, I will come and help them. If my teammates are diving, I will go to help dive. So my perspective here is just move the cart. Let's get this done. All right. So for starters, I would say you spend way too much time just skating on the ground. Like, you just kind of like walk around like normal, like you're any other hero. With Lucio, if you watch good Lucios, they're almost never touching the ground, because every single time you wall ride, it gives you a speed boost, and it also makes you like an erratic target. So for example, just walking out of front spawn like that, if there was a soldier or someone looking at you, they could just kill you, like just like straight away, just like that, helix rocket, and then you die. So for example, coming out of here, you could have rode this wall on the left, jumped onto the wall on the right, skated that over here, jumped over onto this side of the box, and then jumped to the cart. Right? Was it absolutely necessary? No, but the fact that you don't instinctively do this indicates that you're probably not going to be able to do this under pressure. I would encourage you to do this all the time so that wall riding becomes instinctive to you, so that when other things are going on, you can wall ride while processing the other information. Again, there's a lot of skill involved with Lucio. Lucio is probably one of the highest skill ceiling supports that there are. It's going to take you, no joke, like dozens of hours to be even okay at wall riding. So yeah, definitely a lot to practice there. I mean, that's the reason, hopefully, why you're playing Lucio is because you enjoy wall riding. If you don't enjoy wall riding, I wouldn't play Lucio. It's a huge part of his kit. All right, you're just kind of shooting this soldier. So first thing I would note is your first shots are way too low. You should always be shooting at head level, right? Because head shots do double damage. Lucio's little pulses do more damage than people expect. They do 20 damage each. You fire 4 of them, that's 80 damage. If all 4 of them hit in the head, which is rare unless they're like grabbed, standing still, etc., that does 160 damage, which is crazy. So for perspective, if you hit all 4 headshots and then you melee and boop, they will instantly die. You will instantly kill a 200 health hero. This almost never happens unless you're fighting, for example, a Widow, right? Or an Ana or an Ashe, someone who's scoped in, not looking at you, and you sneak up at them, you go headshot, 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 and then melee, boop, they're dead. But just something to note, that's why you want to get headshots. Also, headshots do more damage in general, right? Which means that you build ulti faster. And a big thing on Lucio is how fast can you build ulti. Alright, so overall what you're doing is good, right? You're moving the cart, you're staying under cover, and you're just kind of letting your team do their thing, right? Because honestly, there's not really a lot that you can do here. Alright, get dynamite. Okay, great. Don't worry about it. Cool. So, your diva's up there doing whatever. You cannot help your diva in this situation. First of all, you're on the cart. You can't get up. Even if you're a god tier Lucio, you're not going to get up that fast. Second, there's a great opportunity right in front of you. There is a soldier right here. Each box is 20 health. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, and then maybe like 105 health on that soldier. Right, actually, let's double check. 128. I guess I miscounted a box. So, yeah, interesting. I thought it was 20. Maybe it's 25. It's 25 a box. Okay, never mind. Good to know. It's 25 a box. So 125 plus a little more. He's at 128 health. So this is a great opportunity. You're here. You're with your other soldier. This soldier, the enemy soldier, way out of position. Way out of position. Like all 4 of his team are up here, like doing whatever. He's down here, low on health, trying to fight your other soldier. This is a great opportunity for you to shoot him, right? Boop him, melee him, doing anything. Now, a good question here is, do you shoot or do you boop? Well, one of the best things about booping is that it moves them in a consistent direction, right? It's going to pop him up in the air towards the wall, right? Assuming you boop him forwards here, it's going to pop him in the air towards the wall, which is going to prevent him from dodging. And that's really key because it helps your teammates kill people. People who are booped are much easier, other than the instant they're booped, they're much easier to kill than people who aren't booped. So, for example, right here, I would probably, well, actually, frankly, if I was this close, I know I'm going to hit my shots, and he's so low, he's going to die. But in general here, I would boop first, right, to make him an easier shot for my teammates, and then start shooting. So, either way, this is an easy kill. This soldier should die right here, and definitely shouldn't kill either you or the other soldier. All right, good. So you shoot him and boop. I think that's a perfectly great response, right? You did, I don't know, like 3 shots right there before you booped him. Did a lot of damage. He's low. He misses the rocket, and now you want to finish him off. So, good thing to note right here is instinctively, right, the second this happens, I would switch the speed. Because I know he's low. I want to make sure he dies. I instinctively, like, without even thinking about it, like I'm not consciously thinking about it, I would immediately switch the speed to make sure I can chase down and kill him. Because he's so low that I can shoot, land like 1 hit, and melee him, and he will die. Or just melee him twice, like whatever is fine. Right, he's going to die here. Great. All right. You don't have that instinct, which is fine. Just noting that. Right? Okay, cool. What the heck is going on up here? Well, you had your diva who went in a while ago. Remember, at the beginning of the fight, your diva went in, died. She's dead. It's all over. Your Echo and your Moira have gone in now, and now it's like, oh, okay, they're critical health. Your Ryan's trying to kill your Moira, clearly up here, right? We look, he's like, oh, I'm going to kill this Moira. So I would be thinking, assuming they weren't that low, I would be thinking, how can I get up there and help them? Specifically with speed. This is a great example where Lucio is great. You can speed people away from the Ryan. Realistically, this Moira's going to die in the next swing, but that's what I'd be thinking as a possibility. Oh, she faded. Yeah, she faded and got out with like 1 health, right? So now that I see that she fades out, I would think, okay, first of all, is my Echo going to die here, right? So you get up here, and then you kind of ride this all the way around. I would have stopped the ride right here and then jumped behind this box to kind of see like what is happening versus just skating sideways like this, right? Again, your Echo dies. The other thing I would be thinking about here is, where did my Moira go, right? Because my Moira is critically injured. I would want to get to her to start healing her. Now, let's look at this from your Moira's perspective. Okay, Moira is doing stuff over here. Bam, she gets hit, she fades, right? She's trying to get out. Oh boy. Oh yeah, There's nothing you could do to save her. But if she could have faded, she was a bad fade bar, she could have got the low ground, then I would have immediately prioritized healing her. Great. Now your team is mostly dead. What's your goal here? My goal here is move the card as far as I can and then get back to my team. Do not die here. If I die here, I am staggering, right? And I'm out of sync with the rest of my team. I want the next fight to be 5-on-5. I don't want to be 5-on-4. If I'm afraid that I won't be able to get back to my team safely, I leave right now. It is not worth moving the cart forward in exchange for fighting the next team fight 5-on-4. Well, oh, you're red. I forgot. So the Ashe came down here. So let's figure out what you end up doing here, right? So you're like, oh shoot. So their team is going to drop on you here, right? So I probably would not move the cart forward here because they have total high ground control. I would just turn speed and go back to my team, right? You're trying to kind of move this cart forward a little bit. The Ashe drops, right? I would probably boop right now, right, to kind of throw off for aim, and then turn speed and try to go up the left wall and get away. Right. Okay, so this is bad. You're re-challenging the Ashe for no reason. I think you should just leave. And now you're running forward in a straight line at her. So for perspective, let's watch the Ashe. Right. So great. Okay, having trouble hitting you because you're behind the cart. Okay, great. But notice how now you're just walking at her like in a straight line. Like it is entirely like the Ashe hit 2 of those 3 shots, but I think even better, like tiers, even at gold, people will kill you almost instantly there. This is crazy to just run in a straight line. You're still running a straight line at the Ashe, right? Like this is nuts. And you can probably see from this perspective how crazy this looks to the opposing team. Like there's a half health Lucio who's just walking at me and my Kiriko here. Right? Like you have no chance of killing either one of them in this situation, but you are at a very high risk of dying, which is what happens. So you're dead, and as I mentioned, because you're dead, you're staggered. You're out of sync with your team, which forces the next fight to be 4-on-5. It would have been way better to simply leave from the very beginning and regroup with your team. So now your team is going to fight, right? Which they really shouldn't be because you're not here, but they're going to get staggered as well, right? Now 2 of them are dead, right? So we play on, right? And so now you're coming out, and you're going to rejoin, and hopefully you recognize, hey, my team is also dead. Like, I should wait and not do anything here for them to regroup, right? Fortunately, the rest of your team's still in there, still getting staggered. This ball is probably going to die here, right? If not right now, then very, very soon. You're down here doing something, right? Not really anything of value. The soldier's just picking on you, and you really should have died there, but you managed to get away. Great. So now you have 5 people, but your ball is super low, which means you're effectively fighting 4-on-5. You really, in this situation, have to wait for your ball to do something. Like, you cannot initiate here. You're not a tank, right? So I would just go back, don't die, right? Don't take damage, just chill, and try to wait for your ball, / heal your ball, right? Your ball's also good ult charge. Healing is good ult charge, and try to heal your ball. Your Echo goes up there, gets a solo pick, which is great. Now I'm thinking, okay, can I help my Echo in any way? Like, if she's in any danger? Again, you can wall jump up here to get up to your Echo. Right, but you're still playing pretty much on the ground. Again, if you play a mobile hero, you must use the mobility. If you don't use the mobility, there's no point playing a mobile hero. Lucio is a super mobile hero, right? Probably the most mobile of all of the support heroes, and you're not using that kit at all. I would get up to the Echo here. Like, you don't need to heal your soldier. Your Moira is right here. Your Moira will heal your soldier just fine. You got to get up there to your Echo, right? Your Echo's still walking around, right, with 40 health. Trying to not die, right? Again, thankfully nobody's looking at your Echo at all, but your Echo is extremely low here and can die to anything at any moment in time. Okay, back to you. Right, so again, you should be healing the Echo here. Right, your Doomfist is going in. So I'm thinking, okay, my Doomfist is going to charge in. I should be going in with my Doomfist, right? The whole point is he's a dive hero. This is actually, honestly, a better tank choice for you, so that you can go in there and help him. Whoever he's focusing, I also want to focus. If he dies the Kiriko, I dive the Kiriko, right? Hopefully he doesn't die the Ryan. If he dies like the Ashe, the Ashe is dead. If he dies the soldier, I dive the soldier. Whoever he is, I want to go. You should be on speed right now. Everyone around you is full health. You should be on speed. You should still be on speed. This entire time, nobody here is injured. You should be on speed, right? Oh, look, my Doom's being pinned. Well, pin isn't going to kill him, right? It's not like the old pin, which did like massive damage. Pin does, probably going to do like 275 or whatever to him. I want to speed and get over there to my Doom to help my Doom get out, right? But instead, you're still sitting here on the cart, still don't have speed on, and you're not wall riding. As a reminder, wall riding makes you go faster, right? So you can get places quicker. And again, there's lots of Lucio videos online you can watch in order to learn how to do the movement. I'm not an expert myself by any means, but I'm telling you, even at like the bare, familiar with Lucio mechanics, you must be wall riding. You have to be wall riding like 75 to 90% of the time. You should be wall riding here to get to your Doomfist faster. This far away, you're not doing anything, right? The style that you're playing right now, you might as well be playing Baptiste or Ana, because you're not using the mobility in any way, and it allows you to heal people, like for example your Echo over here, instead of what you're doing. Okay, so you're running up again. You still have heal. The 3 heroes that are here, you, Soldier, Moira, are all still full health. Health is not helping you at all here. You want to be using speed, right? You even amp here, right? Because presumably you're like, oh, I'm getting closer to the Doom right now. Your Doom is really overextended, right? Healing is not the primary thing. I mean, granted, your Doom's going to keep trying to get this kill here because the rest of the team is like really staggered. But like, oh god, the Soldier's right here. I mean, I think that you should be using speed to get a lot closer. All right, same thing as before. This Soldier, grossly out of position, has just dropped into your team for some reason. This should be an easy kill by you. Right, good headshot. Right, this is okay tracking. Right, again, when you're having trouble, okay, you boop him, which is fine. Right, and then he dies. Okay, so their team is coming out. You know their tank is dead. You know their soldier is dead. This is where you get to be the ones getting picks. This is where you get to force them to stagger, right? You should be playing off the cart now with your Doom, focusing whoever he's targeting. He's targeting the Kiriko here, right? Your soldier's on cart. Don't worry about it. Your soldier's on cart. Get forwards, right? Jump on top of the cart, wall ride the left wall, go towards whatever your Doom is focusing on, right? Oh, the Moira is exposed. Fight the Moira. Right? Fight the Moira, fight the Kiriko, fight somebody here, right? Definitely what you don't want to be doing here is fighting nobody, right? You want to be in there, up close, where you can land shots. Like this far away, it's really hard to land shots. That Moira is really far away, could be moving in any direction. When you're up close, you land hits. You've seen that on the Soldier. Get up close. Yeah, there. See, now you're trying to close the gap, right? Reload right now. You're at 4 shots. You should really reload. Okay. So, Ryan shatters here. This is a great example where you dodge shatter. You didn't know that you were going to dodge shatter, but like dodging the shatter is good. And then how can you support your teammates, right? We talk about how supporting is not just healing. Your Ryan, after he shatters, usually he walks forward and tries to kill people, right? Just a swing, fire strike, whatever it is. That's a great opportunity to boop him backwards, right? This was a key opportunity to boop the Ryan backwards. You don't do it. Right, you still notice your boop's still on cooldown, or still hasn't been used, right? You could have saved for sure your Moira there, right? It ends up getting out barely with Fade, right? But might have been able to save your Doom there as well. This is a bad beat. This fight is already lost. There's nothing to fight for, right? You've already captured this point. Your spawn is right there. They're gonna get pushed back naturally based on how close your spawn is. Also, your tank is dead. Generally, you want to beat when you have 5 people. Right, where everybody can benefit from the beat, or it's an extremely close fight where the numbers are even and beat is going to change the nature of the fight. Right now, neither one of those conditions is true, right? Your team's not going to win this fight right away. Your team is definitely going to win the next fight without beat, rather, because your spawn is so close. This is an extremely bad beat. Your Moira now pops Coalescence. I mean, to be honest, this is kind of like what bronze is like, is the reason people are in bronze is I think typically not because of mechanics, but because their decision making is not even like remotely optimal, right? You and the Moira are popping support ultis in a fight that doesn't even need to happen. Like both of you could literally like put down your mouse and keyboard or controller and just die here, and that would be fine. That would actually have been better than what you just did, where both of you pop support ultis. Because again, this fight doesn't matter. You already captured the point. Just wait, respawns, get 5-on-5, and then push through. So you're just kind of shooting randomly. Alright, so tank is dead. People are walking out. Right? Okay, great. You should try to kill that. So I would have chased the Sojourn. Right? After this boop, this Sojourn has like 70 health. You can kill her very, very easily, right? That's basically two pellets, or I don't even know what you would call these, but like 2 projectiles, and then melee her, and she's dead. Right? You have full health right here, 200 health. You can easily kill her here, right? Again, wall riding is a great choice here to prevent yourself from taking more damage, right? Wall ride, hit this right corner of this door, jump on the left wall, jump off the left wall, right? And it'll be a very hard target to hit. You turning around like this is not the right call. You're just ignoring the soldier in the corner, right? If you don't deal with the soldier, whose job is it to deal with the soldier? This is a really good opportunity for you to get a kill here to prevent the soldier from doing anything else. Again, notice that the Sojourn is still alive. Was it a Sojourn or a Kiriko? Yeah, it's a Sojourn, right? Sojourn was over here, right? Oh, I got 96 health, right? I ran in this corner. Okay, nobody's paying attention to me at all. I'm just still shooting, even though you could have killed her at any moment in time by going after her, right? She had no charge, right? Stuck in the corner. She didn't have her shift, her movement ability, or actually did have a movement ability. She didn't have her disruptor, rather. You can still kill her, right? Again, notice nobody is killing this soldier, and the Kiriko's gonna be able to kill her or heal her up. You could have killed her. You literally could have gone. Did not even shoot. You could have just meleeed her to death easily. Right now, he visors. Again, nobody is paying attention to the fact that Soldier's been in the back. The Soldier's done hundreds of damage that you could have prevented, right? Even better than healing. You could have just killed this Soldier. She's still in the back line, and nobody notices. So let's just go back to you now. Okay, so you see your Echo's being attacked in the back, and you just ignore this, right? Your Echo's fighting the Sojourn. You can see the Disruptor. You can see your Echo taking damage, and you're like, oh, whatever. I'll just keep moving the card. You should go back there and be like, oh, Echo, do you need healing? Oh, yeah, you do. You need like 100 health worth of healing, but I'm just going to be hanging out over here. So running to your Moira was unnecessary there. Your Moira was already basically full health. No one's going to come back to the card. Right? She's running with an orb. You don't need to go. Just stay on the card. Okay, they have a Winston. What do you do against Winston? Stay away from him. You do not want to try to fight the Winston. Like, he does 60 damage a second, which is not a lot, but it's more than you can heal, and you don't want him to be zapping you to build ult charge. So in this scenario, you don't want to be walking towards him, right, which is what you do here. You notice Winston jumps in, drops bubble, you're still walking towards him, and you're like, oh, wait, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Okay, now you walk up, you're trying to challenge him at close range. He is a tank. You basically never want to fight tanks unless they're, like, critically wounded. And now you're inside, kind of shooting the shield, the bubble for some reason. Right, you kind of like lose track of aim. You boop the shield as well when you miss with that. So you kind of I think you're probably having some trouble like timing the usage of your abilities with like your crosshair. Right, you're kind of using abilities before you actually see them. So wait till you see them and then use the ability. Now you're probably panicking because you're low, so you get out and you use B. Right, using amp. Amp is a long cooldown ability, right? You got 12 seconds here until you use your next amp. It's a really big deal because amp can be used to save people and to get kills. Don't have other enemies force out your amp. You could have avoided this whole thing, right? You could have hold this whole thing right here. Just shift the speed. Don't even amp. Just shift the speed and just walk backwards. And there's nothing this Winston can do against you. Right? He's already jumped. He's got nothing that he can do. You coming in here just allows him to get value that he didn't need to get. Okay, Winston jumps out. So again, I'm thinking, all right, is there anything I can do to be helpful here? Well, the Soldier's in the back line, but she's charged. I don't want to take this fight. I have 98 health, right? If she hits me with a headshot here, I die. If she hits me with a body shot and a few of her like left clicks, I die. I do not want to take this fight right now. I just want to avoid her and have somebody else come help. This skating around on the ground, very dangerous. She easily could have killed you with a charge shot there. Okay, so now you're like, oh no, there's a Soldier behind me and there's a team in front of me. Like, what do I do? And you're trying to heal. So they managed to kill in the back line, right? I would have gone up when I see kind of my Echo over here. I would have gone back because who cares about what's going on in the front? Let's make sure to kill the Echo first and then focus on the front, right? All right, fine. At this point, I would have ran over and gotten my Echo healed. Again, it's hard for Echo to get healing with this lineup. So when she's on the ground, visible to me, I'd run over there, amp, and heal her up so she can start fighting right away. All right, Winston. He dove in. Great thing about Winston versus Lucio, or Lucio versus Winston really, is when he's trying to land on people, boop him backwards. He does 50 damage if he lands on somebody, right? He does almost no damage if he doesn't land on them. So you want to boop him away from wherever he's trying to go. So when he's in the air coming at you, you boop him away, and then you walk backwards with speed. So he lands to the right. Same thing as before. Turn speed on, walk away, right? After booping him, right? You should just boop him here, and then walk. Yeah, there you go, finally. Right? You walk away. You got down to 1 health. Wow. So this is where you turn on heal and then amp, right? Because this is, I mean, you're missing 200 health, plus your teammates are missing health, like your Echo's missing health. At any moment in time, if you're over there back with your DPS and you pop heal, you'd be healing 3 people at, I think, 60 health a second. That's 180 health a second if you stay with your supports over there. I don't really know why you're pushing up to the cart here, right? Like, if the Winston stayed at the cart, he just kills you right here. You have 22 health. I think you stay in the back line. Like, yeah, he could have jumped you and killed you there, but he didn't necessarily know that that was going to happen, and Amp heals a lot of health, right? He heals as much damage as he's going to do. So I would have played still back with the DPS. So, they're dead now. Echo has copied the Winston, which is fine. Again, don't mess with the Winston. Wherever the Winston is where you don't want to be, right? He wants to get close to you. Don't let him do that, right? He's zapping you. He's going to jump you in a second. Okay, so now he's primaled, and now you're in big trouble. So how could you potentially have escaped that? So right here, you boop him, you turn on speed, and you run. Healing is not gonna survive you. You're just gonna do too much damage for your healing to be able to survive, to save you. You turn on speed and you try to wall run and make it really hard. If you stay off the ground, it's really hard for Winston and Primal to be able to kill you. However, you would die anyway because you're soldier pump. So that visor right there is a great example of what beat is for, right? Your ultimate is used to counter tank and DPS ultis that would otherwise wipe your team. Most common examples: Grav, Soldier Visor, Genji Blade, right? Those are the big. Death Blossom, though it's really hard to get beat off in time for Death Blossom. You have to kind of predict it, right? Those are the big ultimates that beat is used to save teammates for. Not like, oh, we're taking some damage, I'm nervous, let's beat, right? Use them to counter ultimates. Okay, more of the same, right? No reason to walk towards this Winston. Right, you're gonna come out here. Okay, start healing. Great. You turn, you see the Winston. Okay, turn on speed, walk backwards. Like, don't walk towards him. That's exactly what he wants. That's how he farms ultimate. Okay, there's a Bastion here. Bastion's definitely a big problem. Big problem. When he's in tank form, he is very, very, very dangerous. He does like 360 damage a second. Absolutely bonkers. He'll kill someone in less than a second. You do not want to be one of those people. However, you might need to save a teammate. If he's not looking at you, you can put some damage on him. You can boop him around, right? If he's looking at you, then you definitely need to be hiding. Walking up here, this is a bad idea. You're walking straight in front of his crosshair, he's going to kill you. Right? It's quite lucky that he doesn't. So what's tough here is your team is like, oh, okay, this Bastion's like pretty extended, right? He kills the Moira, and then you leave, and then I think your soldier is like, oh, let's go kill the Bastion together, right? He's like chasing the Bastion, which is an interesting call. I mean, Bastion, when he's not in tank form, does way less damage. So I understand this, but he's being pocketed by a Mercy, which can be tough. He probably expects you to come with him, right? To make this a 2-on-2. But you don't, so let's see what happens. Right? He gets super low, right? That's 51 health. He could have killed him with, oh, he didn't have rocket, right? He had 51 damage. He could have killed this Bastion. If you come with him here and fire 3 pellets or 1 pellet and a melee, this Bastion dies, right? Instead, you leave him out to dry by just going back to the cart. Did you accomplish anything while going to the cart? Well, you're going to move it 2 meters, right? And then the Kiriko stops you, and then you're like, okay, now I'm going to try to duel this Kiriko. And you're like, oh, wait, what happened to my soldier? Oh, that's unfortunate. I guess I'm here alone. And notice how nothing is happening here, right? There's no, you're not adding any value. You're not helping your team win the game. You're just doing nothing. You and Kiriko are just randomly just missing each other, right? And there's no progress being made. It's a great example of Lucio, right? Unless you're a Reddit Lucio who is absolutely amazing at dueling, play with your team. Look at what your team is doing. Try to help them accomplish their goals, right? Even though this is not a great lineup for Lucio, it is definitely a workable lineup. We've identified a lot of different scenarios where you could have helped teammates accomplish things. Keep them alive, kill an enemy, whatever it ends up being. Okay. So you're trying to, you should amp here, right? Your Doom's missing a ton of health. This is a classic scenario. Like, both of these two heroes are missing a ton of health, right? Amp, heal them. So you waiting there, like how long do you wait until before you amp? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds, right? 6 seconds that you haven't amped, that your Doomfist is just waiting, right, and not able to do anything. The faster you amp, the more health he gets sooner. The sooner he gets health, the sooner he can go in and help, right? Your Moira is already coalescing right now, which is a great opportunity to go in, but your Doomfist isn't in there because you haven't healed him. If you'd healed him earlier, he gets back into the fight sooner and he can benefit from the coalescence. It's like a chain reaction, a butterfly effect of things where if you just played a little more optimally, you can help your whole team out a lot more. Now, your Moira's dead, your Soldier's dead, your Echo's about to be dead. Right. If you get lens the right click, your Echo dies here. Alright, so again, you're like trying to secure the kill on the Winston, but like their whole team is up, so I wouldn't be doing this. I would just go back to spawn, honestly. Right, like their team is gonna just be up. Doom, that's good. So again, number one, stay with your Echo, right? Like your Echo's the one being dove here. Try to keep your Echo alive. You have Amp here. You can Amp heal, and you will out heal the Winston damage that the Echo's taking, right? Which gives the Echo time to get away, or for your Moira to come back, or whatever, right? Number two, you are beating here. This is a 3-on-5, right? Bastion's here, Soldier's here, Winston's here, Mercy is here, Kiriko, it's kind of hard to see at this angle, also here in the middle of the fight, right? Your team, right? Let's look at where your Soldier is. Your Soldier's coming back, right? Moira just left spawn. So you are beating in a 3-on-5 situation, which is not easy to win, right? Even with beat, it is very unlikely your team is going to win a 3-on-5, statistically speaking. Again, try to beat in 5-on-5 situations, or if it's very, very close, and beat will be what will help you win the fight. That's problem number one. Not a good time to beat. Number two, line of sight blocks beat, which includes walls, corners, boxes, right? Stuff like that. But it also includes things like barriers, shields, Winston bubbles, Sigma shield. These things all block line of sight, right? You can see that like they're translucent, but for the purpose of line of sight abilities, they do not go through them, which means your Echo, who I'm sure you're trying to save here with this beat, will not get this beat, right? So let's watch this Echo to confirm. Okay, I'm shooting. Okay, I'm being dove, right? A great opportunity if Lucio had come right along here with me and been amping me, I don't get this low. Okay, you're beating. I'm at 18 health. I'm still at 18 health. I never get this beat. Right? If you look at you definitely get the beat, right? You're gonna see your health. Oh, I'm 900 health. Yeah, great. Your Echo never gets this beat. You have to be very careful, especially Winston bubble is probably the prime culprit for when you don't manage to get beat to other people. You cannot let barriers stop you from being able to heal your teammates or give your teammates beat. Okay, now you're up here alone, which is crazy, right? You're fighting 2 DPS all by yourself. Where is your team's not even on your screen, right? Like, are you planning on dueling these two to death? Unlikely, right? You amp here, and you're kind of like playing as though it's overtime. You're like gonna stall a cart, but in reality, this fight's over. Just die. It's okay. Just die. Right? If anything, if you're gonna do anything here, you should have tried to assassinate the Bastion, because the second you turn, you're like, wait, the Bastion only has like 100 health here. I could kill him. Right? 4 projectiles, that's 80 damage in a melee, he dies. So if you're going to try to make any play here, you should be trying to heal the Bastion. Right? In fact, if you hit him in the head here, you can kill him with just a projectile. Alright, so you're dead. Your whole team, right? Remember your Soldier and Moira are walking to this fight late. They do in fact walk in late, and I bet they're going to stagger and die. Right? Because for them, it's now 2-on-5. Right? You just shoot the bubble. Right? Your Moira's going to die in a second. Moira's dead. Yeah, Soldier's going to die in a second. Right, he's dead. So now it's a 3-on-5 again, and it's very easy to blame your teammates for like, oh, like you're staggering. Like, why do you keep doing this? You are also staggering. Everyone here is equally culpable in the staggering. I haven't seen anybody who just like waits by spawn for their team to all come out and then go. Everyone, as soon as they walk alive, they immediately just like mindlessly walk back to the point and then die. And that's a big reason why you're not able to win these fights. In fact, I would say the single biggest reason you're winning these fights is because it's not. Okay, great. So finally, you're like, okay, my whole team is dead. I need to go back to spawn and wait. Great. So now you're trying to collect with your team. You got your Moira. That's not enough. Okay. You got a Soldier coming out. You got your Doom coming out. You're gonna amp. This is an okay time to amp. I mean, it's fine. You didn't really need it. You just wall jump to come back. You're basically never wall jumping, for the record. Like, it's almost like you forget that wall jumping is an ability the vast majority of the time. I encourage you to practice with it a lot, and even to play deathmatch, and then you'll get used to wall jumping a lot more, like while riding, instinctively. Okay, so what's your goal here? Again, Lucio enables his teammates. Help your teammates out. You see your Doomfist going to the left, going off to fight the Winston. why are you going towards the cart, right? Like, there's two people over here. You're not going to do anything to these two on their own. Just go help your dude. Okay, great. Again, you're like overly prioritizing the cart, right? Go and focus. Like, what is happening to my left right now? You amp to try not to die from Winston. I think that's reasonable. Right? Mercy's a great target here, right? Mercy's already lost 40 health. Okay, you just saw her use Guardian Angel, right? You have the opportunity to do damage here, right? I'm sure you know playing Mercy that you're quite vulnerable when Guardian Angel is down. You're still just kind of floating around, right? Again, stay away from the Winston. Okay, but like you can't win games just by existing here, right? You also need to do damage and like focus people down. I know you're probably a little worried about the cart too, which is a fair thing, and you're in overtime, but I'd say primarily you're like, okay, I need to find a support and I need to kill them. Your damage is not trivial. You need to make sure that you're damaging people. Now your team's doing a pretty good job, right? They just got 2 kills and you haven't really done anything here. Soldier shooting, you're still just hopping around, like you're just kind of walking in circles. Like you managed to very luckily kill that Winston. Okay, now you've gone to speed, and you're amping speed, which is really funny because this is like actually one of the few times where you should be amping heal. Like, look at how injured your teammates are. You have 3 of them right next to you that are all very, very low. Speed is not necessary. You have to stay on the cart here, right? You don't want speed here. You want healing. Okay, Rush comes out. Right, like your team could do so much more right now if they had amped heal instead of speed. Right, you're getting shot from the Bastion right. Like you should put your shots in, right, in order to deter him from doing anything. Kind of get low, and eventually you get killed by the Mercy. Yeah, so let's see what the Mercy's doing here, because I think that it's actually funny. So the Mercy actually makes the right play here, right? The Mercy's like, hey, I could keep healing people, right? I could heal bot, right? Or I could just kill this Lucio, because I see how low this Lucio is. I'm like, yeah, let me just kill him. Right? I see how... Oh, God, I'm going to do a big res. Oh, try to, right? You're trying to get kills here. This is actually not a reasonable play for the Mercy, right? Which is like, look, healing people is not going to win this fight right here. People need to die. And the Mercy just got 2 of those kills, basically, herself, which is big. And, of course, I think your team is going to lose here. Yeah, your team's going to lose here. Okay, so, defense. Still a winnable game, right? I've seen crazier holds. Definitely winnable. Let's go back to you. Right? And so you've come out of the gate as Moira. So number 1 is, and this is like a minor thing, don't walk past this point, this box right here, because they can see you from the window of their spawn. And that will tell them what your hero composition is. Like if everybody walks out there, you don't want to give them any information that you don't have to, right? So don't show them who you are. There's no reason to walk over there. Like you're just revealing yourself right now for no reason. I know it seems like a very minor detail, and like in reality it usually is, but like why give the other team an advantage? You know, like there's no reason to do so. There's nothing you're doing over here of any interest, so just go back to where you were. Like your Ryan's being even worse. Like telling them who the tank is a really big deal. Moira is not great at this map, especially at the first 2 points, because it's a very vertical map. Moira is not a good vertical hero. Mercy, great vertical hero. Moira, not so much. You're playing in the correct spot, all things considered. Your Ryan's low ground. I don't know if I agree with him being low ground, but your Ryan's low ground. You should be playing with the Ryan. You should be pocketing your Ryan here the whole time. Did you lose a DPS? Looks like maybe you lost a DPS, which is going to make this impossible. Okay, so let's think about Moira right here. My job is to pocket my Ryan, okay? My Ryan goes to the left. I should go to the left. I should not go to the right here. Like, what is my goal here? I'm not going to do any damage here, and I can potentially die. Okay, you throw a damage orb, you die, get super low. You should have faded as soon as the Bastion started targeting you, because the Bastion easily could have killed you there. Right now, I would honestly just fade and go to the left, because like there's nothing you're going to do from the right side. Right? Again, your Ryan's on the left, you are on the right. You cannot heal your Ryan from that position, right? What are you going to do on this side? All right, your Ryan charges in. This is crazy. But that's fine. Okay, so I'm sort of taking a fight here. I do not agree with this. I think that you should just stay behind your Ryan, heal the Ryan, and then damage opportunistically versus trying to get it. Yeah, so then you just die. So from their perspective, I'm going to show you how easy this kill is for them. Right? Okay, I'm looking. He's trying to kill the supports. Oh, the Ryan's here. Okay, I reload. What? There's a Moira here. Okay, I'm going to start shooting the Moira. Okay, the Moira is just walking in a straight line. Right? We'll play it in real time. Oh, look at Moira just kind of standing there, right? You're literally just walking in a straight line forwards at them. Easiest kill. They will always kill you there. Even in bronze, people will kill you instantly there. You cannot be ever walking straight at somebody, right? You should be going left and right. if you're going to try to take a fight, which I don't think you should be taking a fight. I think you should be playing on the Rhine. But if you're going to do that, don't be moving in a straight line. All right, you come back out. You're trying to stay with the Rhine. Good call. All right, the Rhine is super low. I would throw a healing orb here. Right, you got healing orb ready. I would throw a healing orb. You throw a damage orb. Okay, so for the record, healing orb heals 50% more than damage orb does. So damage orb is not a great option. So by default, I would always throw healing orbs, right? I only throw a damage orb if I'm trying to farm ulti in a neutral position where no one's in danger, or if I'm trying to quickly kill someone. I think damage orb here is reasonable if you threw it at the Kiriko and immediately tried to kill her. Because this is like a 3-on-3, it's a tricky situation. But if you kill the Kiriko, right, who nobody, the other two aren't going to help because she's in the back line, that would be a great play here. But otherwise, I would throw healing. Okay, so now they're rezzing. You fade down, and you fade straight into the Orisa's face. That is not a good call. Like, you should think from the other player's perspective how crazy this looks. Right? As a tank, I always want to get to the supports, right? Oh, hey, look, there's a support right here. Like, you're kind of lucky that your Orisa didn't have any abilities off cooldown that she could have used to kill you. Alright, you're out here. You're healing red. Okay, your Rhine's forward. You have to walk forwards here. You're throwing a damage orb. Again, I don't think damage orb is great. Split across multiple people does not do a lot of damage. I would be throwing a healing orb here, which would heal both the Rhine and the Echo, and would help them do their jobs. Okay, so now you heal, and now you're like, oh man, now what do I do? Same thing you always do. Just stay behind the Rhine, heal the Rhine, right? You're playing this off angle here like you're a DPS, and you're going to put pressure on them from another angle. You do very little damage more. You do 40 damage a second, I believe, with your right click, right? Just stay on your Rhine, heal him. If your Rhine has enough health, he can just fight the whole team. Honestly, like, your Rhine, if you pocket him here, he can just walk into the enemy team and kill everyone. Because this is actually not a high damage lineup. There's two supports, Orisa, who's one of the lowest damage tanks in the game, and a soldier, who's also, actually, believe it or not, one of the lower damage DPS in the game. Right? If you just heal your Rhine here, he can just walk in and kill everyone, excluding the Bastion. Alright, Bastion's going to melt your Echo. You're now trying to fight the soldier, which is not the right call. As soon as he started targeting me, right? But I'm like, oh shoot, he's targeting me. I would have faded right here, because I'm going to expect the rocket to be coming any moment now. Right? I would have faded and immediately gone to my Rhine. You eat the rocket, right? It does more damage to you. The Bastion's out shooting you. You should be fading behind your Rhine. Instead, you fade to the left doorway. Okay, fine. Your Rhine, right, does a good job. He comes over to basically try to save your life, right? Try to take the soldier off of you. But now he's not on the cart. Right? So now you're trying to walk forward. Okay, you throw a healing over, which is good, right? I would be right-clicking the Mercy now while I walk forward, right? Might as well. This is the third, right? I want to save my Ana, preferably. So, she's already got Javelin here, but right here, I fade forward, right, to try to save the Ana, except for the fact that the cart's there, so actually, realistically, you should have faded to the cart. But you notice that your Rhine, think about this from your Rhine's perspective, right? Your Rhine, let's back it up. Rhine's over here, he's fighting, right, he's playing on the cart, right, he's trying to figure out what's going on. He sees your soldier going after you, right? He comes over here to try to get the soldier off you, which is understandable. Like, it's kind of the right call here, except for the cart situation, right? But because of that, he's off position. Now the cart is going to cap. He tries to charge back to the cap, to the point, can't get it. This never happens if you don't play the left side. If you literally just played behind your Rhine, like I said earlier, right? If you're behind your Rhine right now, this soldier never gets this close to you, and your Rhine never comes to try to fight that soldier. Right? So, you indirectly, I mean, your team wasn't up at all. You probably wouldn't lose that point regardless, but, like, these things add up, you know? It's just better to be in the right spot. Just making sure that you keep your Rhine and your Ana up. That's your job in this situation. You're gonna die, which is not surprising. Fight's over. Okay, cool. Next fight. So your Echo's low. Okay, I should try to heal her, which is the bridge. Okay, she moved too fast. Not really much to do here. Again, as Echo in this lineup, she's not really gonna get healed. Your Ana can heal her, but that's about it. Your goal here, keep your tank up, keep your other support up, and don't die. That's your goal, right? Keep those two people up, because none of I mean, now you don't even have a DPS left, so at this point, there's not really much you can do. This fight's over. It's 3 on 5, no matter what, because you've lost most of your DPS. That's actually a good kill, right? You die. Okay, so we'll stop there. Lucio, I would say a bunch of things. Number 1, practice wall riding, make it instinctive. Number 2, enable your teammates. Number 3, have speed on more, right? We'll keep it simple, make it those 3 things. And maybe number 4, like, beat when you actually have a full team to benefit from a beat. On Moira, recognize who it is your job to heal and who it isn't your job to heal, and always stay in position to heal them. I think those tips alone I think are very helpful, and probably condensed enough for you to be able to use those to help climb at this point. Hope this was helpful.